2025 emerges as a year of profound philosophical growth and exciting adventures for the freedom-loving Sagittarius. The celestial alignments promise to feed the Sagittarius's natural wanderlust while simultaneously offering opportunities for deeper spiritual and intellectual exploration. True to Sagittarian nature, the year ahead presents numerous chances for expansion, both in terms of physical travels and mental horizons. However, the stars suggest that the greatest adventures of 2025 might actually come from within, challenging Sagittarius's tendency to always look to distant horizons for growth. In 2025, Sagittarius should concentrate on personal growth from within. The influence of the year of the snake brings an intriguing dynamic to Sagittarius's typically straightforward approach to life. While Sagittarians are known for the blunt honesty and direct action, the snake's subtle and contemplative energy encourages them to apply a more nuanced approach in 2025. This energy will require Sagittarius to temper their sometimes too quick judgments with deeper wisdom, which could be particularly beneficial in professional and personal relationships. The snake's thoughtful influence will help channel Sagittarius's natural characteristic optimism into longer-term strategic planning rather than their tendency to be reactive and follow impulsive leaps of faith. Romance will take an interesting turn in 2025, particularly suited to Sagittarius's love of exploration and truth-seeking. Single Sagittarians might find themselves attracted to partners who challenge their philosophical views or come from dramatically different cultural backgrounds, feeding Sagittarius's natural curiosity about different cultures and ways of life. The first quarter brings opportunities for romance during educational pursuits or spiritual gatherings, perfectly aligned with Sagittarius's love of learning and big-picture thinking. For involved Sagittarians, 2025 requires finding new ways to maintain freedom within the committed relationship, a perpetual challenge for the independence-loving Sagittarius. In the early months of the year, Sagittarius is likely to experience events that might test their relationships as their restless nature yearns for adventure. You should try to be patient, dear Sagittarius, since if your partners can join you in the journey, both metaphorical and literal, you will find your bonds strengthening tremendously. July and August are particularly favorable for romantic travel or just spending more time together, combining Sagittarius's two great loves, travel and personal growth. The second half of the year will bring a deeper appreciation for emotional intimacy, challenging Sagittarius's typical dislike of being tied down. Many Sagittarians will discover that the greatest adventure of all lies in allowing themselves to be truly vulnerable with another person. The stars suggest that those who can balance their need for independence with genuine commitment will find unprecedented satisfaction in their relationship by year's end. Family life in 2025 calls upon Sagittarius's natural role as the teacher and philosopher of the Zodiac. Your characteristic optimism and broad-minded approach will help bridge family divides, particularly during a potentially challenging period in the earlier months of the year. Sagittarius's ability to see the bigger picture will prove to be invaluable in resolving long-standing family tensions, though you'll need to curb your tendency to be too brutally honest in sensitive situations. Home life is bound to bring interesting developments, with many Sagittarians creating more flexible living arrangements that accommodate their need for freedom while maintaining stability. Some might invest in mobile homes or create home offices that allow for remote work while traveling, the perfect solution for Sagittarius's wanderlust. The stars particularly support home improvements or relocations between June and August, possibly involving moves to a location in another country or multicultural neighborhood, something that will jive beautifully with Sagittarius's love of diverse experiences. Career prospects in 2025 strongly favor Sagittarius's natural talents for teaching, publishing, travel, and cross-cultural communication. The year begins with opportunities to expand professional horizons, possibly through international collaborations or roles involving education and training. March through May presents perfect conditions for launching new ventures, particularly those involving publishing, travel, or spiritual growth, all areas where Sagittarius naturally excels. The middle of the year will challenge Sagittarians to find balance between the grand visions and practical implementation. Your characteristic optimism could serve you well in leadership roles, dear Sagittarius, though you will need to temper your tendency to promise more than can be delivered. September through November brings opportunities for career advancement through higher education or specialized training, appealing to Sagittarius's love of learning and self-improvement. Financially, 2025 requires Sagittarius to rein in their natural tendency toward extravagant spending and overly optimistic investments. The year begins with an overall favorable financial outlook for Sagittarius, with promising opportunities for investments or education-related ventures, but success depends on developing more discipline with money management, which is not typically Sagittarius's strong suit. Being more reserved, disciplined, and patient, traits emphasized in 2025 due to Snake's influence, will serve you exceptionally well this year, dear Sagittarius. May and June could bring unexpected windfalls, possibly through publishing or social media opportunities, but the stars strongly advise against immediately spending these gains on new adventures. The second half of the year favors long-term investment strategies, challenging Sagittarius to think beyond the usual live-for-today mentality. December might bring interesting opportunities to combine travel with income generation, perfectly suited to Sagittarius's natural inclinations. However, success requires more attention to detail than Sagittarius typically prefers to give to financial matters, making it harder to utilize this opportunity to its full extent. Health and wellness in 2025 emphasize the importance of balancing Sagittarius's love of physical activity with proper rest and recovery. The year will start with high energy levels that align well with Sagittarians' natural enthusiasm for sports and outdoor activities. However, Sagittarius, you should be cautious about your tendency to overdo things. If you are not cautious and keep ignoring your limits, it could lead to injuries and even the development of chronic conditions due to overexertion of certain parts of your body. Train smart, not hard is the message for Sagittarius in 2025. The middle of the year highlights the connection between physical and mental well-being, encouraging Sagittarians to explore mind-body practices that might initially test their patience for slower-paced activities. Sagittarius's natural optimism will serve them well in maintaining good health, though they should be careful not to ignore minor health issues in their typical "it'll work itself out" fashion. Being more proactive rather than reactive is strongly advised. Looking at the broader picture, 2025 offers you a perfect blend of adventure and growth, dear Sagittarius, all the while encouraging development in areas where you typically resist moderation and constraint. If you can embrace the level-headed, patient energy influence of the snake this year, it will help you ground your expansive visions in practical reality without dampening your characteristic enthusiasm and optimism. Success in 2025 depends on Sagittarius's willingness to find freedom within structure and adventure within commitment, seemingly paradoxical concepts that nonetheless will lead to greater personal growth. By embracing both your natural gifts for inspiration and exploration while developing greater patience and attention to detail, you can make 2025 a year of unprecedented personal growth, Sagittarius. The key lies in embracing the more planned, non-reactive mode of operation and understanding that sometimes the greatest adventures are found not in escaping constraints but in creatively working within them.